Yes. Good morning. Good morning, one and all present here. A very warm welcome to India's Ticket Chips for Viksit Bharat, an event that marks a pivotal moment in India's journey towards strengthening its semiconductor ecosystem. Today, we gather here with great anticipation and enthusiasm as we embark on a journey of innovation, collaboration, and progress. As we begin, let's celebrate India's semiconductor journey from modest beginnings to significant growth. Through our dedication, visionary leadership, and partnership, today we have emerged as a global player. Today, we are honored to have the esteemed presence of our Honorable Prime Minister Shri Narendra Modi virtually, who will be inaugurating three semiconductor facilities, two in Gujarat, one in Assam. His address today will undoubtedly inspire and guide us as we chart the course of the future of our semiconductor industry. Furthermore, we are privileged to have Dr. Praveen Bangotra, an renowned scientist from ISRO, who will be sharing his insights and expertise on the semiconductor advancements. And we are privileged to have our Director, Sir, Professor B.S. Sahai, whose unwavering commitment to academic excellence has been instrumental in shaping the future leaders of our nation. As we embark on this journey together, let us reaffirm our commitment to fostering a vibrant semiconductor ecosystem. Let us seize this momentous opportunity to redefine the future of India's semiconductor industry.
It has been the vision of Honorable Prime Minister Shri Narendra Modi to position India as the global hub for semiconductor design, manufacturing, and technology development, fostering the creation of employment opportunities for nation's youth. In the line with this vision, foundation stone will be laid for semiconductor fabrication facility at Dholera Special Investment Region, DSIR, Gujarat, outsourced semiconductor assembly and test OSAT facility at Moregaon, Assam, and outsourced semiconductor assembly and test OSAT facility at Sanand, Gujarat. Now let's watch a video on semiconductor story of India.
Recording in progress.
Now, we would like to invite the students of IIM Jammu to give a presentation on strengthening the semiconductor ecosystem. The sequence of the presentation would be MBA HHM02, Adarsh and Tanvi, IPM03, Lakshya, Kritika, Anmol, Varad, Suryansh, and presentation by MBA07, Jayant, and Swastik.
Um, Hello, everyone. My name is Adarsh Singh. With my friend Tanvisha, we'll be presenting the impacts of semiconductors in healthcare industry. So before starting, just I wanted to know from you all that how many of you think that it was critical for us to have basic medical equipment such as pulse oximeter or a blood pressure monitor system just at the time of COVID? Like, okay, so I can see a lot of you thought we should have this technology. That's why government of India is also taking this initiative at a mission mode to make sure that this strategic sector grows in future. So the biggest beneficiary of semiconductor being manufactured in India would be the medical device equipment manufacturing companies. So as of now, we are around $11 billion, and we'll reach up to $50 billion at a CAGR of 35% in next 3 to 4 years. We have also attracted around 14,000 crore worth of foreign direct investment. This shows that we have a lot of enthusiasm in this industry. So there are four major components in this. So, first is consumable implants, diagnostic imaging, instrumentation, and patient aids. So the major components or semiconductor components that are used are memory, power management devices, microcontrollers, integrated circuits, etc. You would have heard about many devices such as cardiac pacemakers, X-rays, MRI machines that are used in healthcare devices industry. Next, you can see in this map, you can see a lot of clusters that are there, which are hub for medical device manufacturing. So a lot of them are in southern part of India because they have plans of export as well. As of now, in 2017, we had our export around $1.8 billion. Now we have reached up to $2.9 billion. This shows there's a growth in this industry. But the problem part is we have also increased our imports from 4.9 to $8.5 billion in 2022. This shows that there is a huge demand locally in our country, and we have to make sure that we cater it by manufacturing it locally. As of now, around 12% of monthly per capita expenditure is there at a personal household in a middle class family, out of which, if you have an elderly person, around only 18% of them are covered under health insurance. This shows that if we increase import duties on this industry, it will directly translate to your out-of-pocket expenditure of a normal local person. So next, I'll call Tanvi for going further.
So I'll give a basic overview that how the semiconductors help in the healthcare industry. The first is that the advancement in the semiconductor technology, they have revolutionized the healthcare sector. It has led to the development of various advanced tools like MRI machines, CT scan machines, which we can see are used in every basic diagnosis of disease that we do. Then it has also helped in increasing the medical imaging technologies, that it has increased 3D 3D scans and everything, which helps us in having a better healthcare for the future and help us in having better diagnosis and early diagnosis in the future. Next, it has also helped for in remote monitoring, like while semiconductor chips, we can have telemedicine and we can have remote patient monitoring capabilities. So this helps in this is very important as we have a lot of rural population, and going there physically might not be possible in each and every case. So having these semiconductor chips has also enabled in reaching those areas and helping them in treating the patients of those areas. Now, how has the semiconductors impacted this industry? So it has led to improved diagnosis and imaging. So I'll give by an example that the MRI machines, they help in enabling the quicker image processing and sharper resolutions with the help of semiconductors, which was not possible before. The next is that it has helped in the integration in medical imaging, that as I said before also that because of semiconductors, it has led to noise reductions, contrast enhancements, and 3D reconstructions. So by an example of MRI machines, we can say that they help a role in controlling and regulating the magnetic fields which are released from the devices. So it helps in ensuring the patient health, because the radiations have a damaging effect on the person. So it has also helped in telemedicine and remote monitoring, as faster data processing can be done with the help of semiconductors. And it has led to more efficient power consumption, development of more efficient and power consumption devices.
So as of now, government has provided a lot of incentive for this industry. So one of the flagship programs that government runs is production incentive. They have laid out around $400 million to make sure that this industry grows. So it's around 5% year-on-year basis in terms of your amount of devices that you have manufactured or the amount of sale that you have done. So this scheme consists of 4 major components, which is cancer care and radiotherapy, nuclear imaging devices, and implantable devices. As of now, like we as a youth can also contribute this through the Startup and Stand Up India program, which was started by our Prime Minister in 2014, which has also incentivized a lot of people, young people joining this. We have seen a lot of big ticket investments in this area as well.
So now before starting up any industry, it is very important to do a cost benefit analysis so that we know that even if we set up a manufacturing plant, would we be beneficial or would we have profit? So as from the data, we can see that around 61,000 crore rupees was spent till November 2023 on the import of medical devices. And the custom duties of around 7.5 to 10% are charged by the ministry, which would amount to around 5,600 crores. And the in-house revenue generation, that is after the 20 to 30% of profit margin, would amount to about 45,000 crores. And so by this, even like after we manufacture in India, the amount that we can save is about 15,000 crore rupees. And this 15,000 crore rupees can be spent to increase our GDP, and which would help in job creation and raising our per capita income. Now the pie chart there shows the various cost drivers that are involved in the manufacturing of medical devices. So of the 40% of the material and components part, about 20% is of the semiconductors and other fabricated chips. So by manufacturing these chips in India, we can save up on that some part of the 20% amount. And manufacturing in India would also lead to a lower labor cost and a decreased transportation costs. Now, apart from the cost benefit analysis, other regulatory and ethical considerations should also be kept in mind. So the company should abide by the MITI and BIS standards for the regulatory compliances of the devices that they produce. Then the company should also take in mind of the data encryption and the data privacy policies that are being laid down by the government of India. Then the company should itself have a they should by themselves have some ethical responsibility towards the patient. So they should have an ethical use of AI, and they should also have environmental sustainability, which would help us in abiding by the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals. And for any manufacturing company, having a quality control is very important. So in this sector also, the manufacturing companies would have to abide by the ISO 9001 standards.
Okay. So with this, we'll make sure that as a country, we follow the mission of Atmanirbharta and achieve the goals that our Prime Minister has laid for us. Thank you so much.
I would like to invite IPM 03 to give a presentation.
Good morning, everyone. What do rice cookers, LED lighting displays, gaming devices, and blood pressure monitors have in common? They all have semiconductors. Semiconductors are the powerful brains behind a variety of modern technology applications. from medical devices and clean energy to transportation and defense. They are also among the US's top 5 exports. The US semiconductor industry is the leader, and with it has a global market share of about 258 billion as of 2021. Semiconductor technology is also projected to be a major player in the future technology, such as artificial intelligence. On today's auspicious occasion of inaugural of semiconductor manufacturing and assembly plants by Honorable Prime Minister Shri Narendra Modi, let us learn more about what semiconductors are and the intrinsics of the semiconductor industry. Semiconductors, often referred as integrated circuits or microchips, are made from pure elements, typically silicon or germanium. They are also made from compounds such as gallium arsenide. In a process called doping, small amounts of impurities are added to these pure elements, causing large changes in the conduction of the material. And not only does semiconductor technology make devices possible, it also makes them more compact, less expensive, and more powerful. For example, in 1984, mobile phones weighed about 2 pounds and cost about $4,000 and had a charge for only 30 minutes of talk time. But this changed with the incoming of semiconductors. Overall, semiconductors are a crucial component of modern electronics, enabling the development of advanced technologies and devices that have transformed many aspects of modern life. A few common uses of semiconductor technology include computing. So, the semiconductor industry produces microprocessors and memory chips, which are the primary components in computer servers and data centers. These devices, used in various industries, from finance and healthcare, supplement a lot of our daily life. Communications. Semiconductors are used to produce cell phones, satellite systems, and other communication devices. They supplement the wireless communication systems, network equipment, and other hardware for data transmission. Energy. Semiconductors are used in the production of solar cells and other renewable energy systems. And power management applications also use semiconductors, including voltage regulators and power supplies. The automotive electronics also uses semiconductors, including engine control units, sensors, and safety systems. They are also used in electric vehicles and autonomous vehicles. And lastly, in healthcare, semiconductors are used in the medical imaging, monitoring, and diagnostic equipment, as well as medical implants and devices.
So yeah, now as we all know that India's chip making ambitions have took a great leap on 29th Feb 2024, where the center greenlighted the three major projects on semiconductor firms, which were cost around 1.26 trillion rupees, with Tata Group initiating two of them. Yeah, so while the TEPL, the Tata Electronic Private Limited, is going to build the India's first semiconductor fab in Gujarat's Dholera, which will be worth 91,000 crores, along with the collaboration of Taiwan's PSMC, which is one of the world's biggest semiconductor manufacturing firm.
The proposed plant is likely to create 20,000 indirect as well as direct jobs. The proposed plant will manufacture high performance computing chips of 28 nanometer technology. The plant is projected to have a total capacity of 50,000 wafer starts per month. Now we know that one wafer can roughly have 5,000 chips in it. Therefore, the plant is supposed to create 3 billion chips per day. Other than that, the plant will also the chips produced at Dholera facility shall cater to 8 broad sectors that includes electric vehicles, telecom, defense, high performance power computing, consumer electronics, automobile, and power electronics.
Now, apart from the Dholera district, the other sector in which the Tata is going to work is TSAT, which is a Tata Semiconductor Assembly and Test Private Limited. It's going to build an ATMP plant, which is basically an assembly, testing, marking and planning sector, where the plant is going to be in Assam's Murigaon, and it's going to worth around 27,000 crores.
Again, talking about the job opportunities of the same plant, the plant has an investment of 20,000 crores and is expected to generate 27,000 direct as well as indirect jobs. Two American conglomerates are part of the Assam plant, and majority of the production from the facility exported.
Yeah. Now, apart from Tata, the third plant is going to be set up by CG Power Private Limited, which is again an Indian-based manufacturing firm, and it's also going to produce an ATMP plant in Gujarat's Sanand district, which is in the investment of 76,000 crores, and it's in collaboration with the Japan's Genesis Electronics and also with the Micron.
The third power plant, the power plant which is set up in Assam, it has three major companies, that is CG Power, JV company, and the three major shareholders include the following. CG Power is to hold the highest stake at 92.34% in the plant. Next comes Renesas at Japan at 6.76% at 50 million investment. And lastly, the Star Microelectronics consumes 0.9% of the total investment of the semiconductor plant. Now talking about the benefits, as we have discussed, the total three of the plants will create 26,000 direct jobs and 1 lakh of indirect jobs. And the other benefits also include, up until now, India has already been dependent India is solely dependent on imports for its semiconductor chip manufacturing, which is at 3.37 billion rupees. Now, because of these three plants, India will have reduced imports, and the economy of India is about to grow. Hence, it will enhance the production capabilities of India, because small industries will have the capacity to produce high product making. Next is stimulation of innovation. Because of the three plants that are set up in India, innovation has a greater scope to grow. Next comes the skilling in India. For the same plant that the center has offered electronic design automation, that is EDA, to 104 Indian universities. These 104 universities, this will create a talent pool which will help these three plants to manufacture the semiconductor chips. The expensive tools that the center is going to provide will create a talent pool of 3 lakh engineers to further enhance the production.
Now we will see the cost which is involved in the establishing of this plant. So the total cost is about 1.26 trillion or 1.26 lakh crore, out of which, if we see the plant which is established in the Dholera, Gujarat, it consumes 91,000 crore. The second plant, which is established in Gujarat, in Sanand, it is of about 7,600 crore. And third plant, which is established in the Assam, Moregaon, it has been a 27,000 crore. The main reason why the Dholera's plant is the cost of Dholera plant is much more than the other two is because this is the first ever plant. It is the first ever fab plant which is going to establish in India. So what does mean the fab? Fab stands for the fabricate. So in the Dholera plant, the chips will be manufactured. The chips will be made from the scratch to the final level. So that's why the cost in the Dholera plant is much more than the other two. If we talk about the incentives which the government has taken to promote the semiconductor industry, is the chip incentive schemes. In December 2021, the government had rolled out a scheme of 76,000 crore chip incentive scheme, under which the center offered half of the amount of the plant's capital expenditure cost as a subsidy. This proposal will receive 50% of the capex cost from the center. Second point, if we see the timing of the plant, this is the best timing in which India can establish the plant. If we see the geopolitical scenario, the two most influential countries in the world, China and USA, are having the political tensions, and they are facing the all-time value low in their supply chain. So if we talk about the India scenario, the around 90% of the India chips is imported to meet the requirements of the domestic needs, and they are heavily dependent on the China and other countries. Even the procurement of these chips are taking the few months to this. So India hopes to assume this space as an ever-growing market with the help of primarily from the government-funded scheme to boost the local industry.
So we have looked at the current scenario, as in when we are setting up what is happening in the recent times, but we also have to think that what is next in the line. So when India is making this step of setting up the semiconductor plants, what we are planning to do is introduce a lot more new policies to bring in new organizations and make development into different factors. Now, in the semiconductor production market, India has been pretty much non-existent. Around 80 to 90% of our semiconductor chips are being imported from different countries. Now, what we are trying to do here is, first of all, reduce the burden, or you can say the amount of support we are taking from the imports, and rather domestically produce the chips. Apart from that, what we are trying to do is through PLI, that is production linked incentives, we are trying to bring in other organizations. Recently, Foxconn, AMD has made comments that they want to spread operations in India. Intel has a Samsung has a semiconductor R&D facility in Bangalore, where they are trying to expand it more across the nation. When we talk about our nation and this particular step that has been taken by our government, we are trying to develop into multifaceted environment. So what we are trying to do here is create job employments. Apart from that, there are technical skills that will be required, skilled labor will be required, and we have premier institutions in our country. People like us, my seniors, maybe my juniors later, they are the ones who will be carrying this, and they are the future of our nation. As we often talk about in this campus, that we need to be a global manager who also fosters and caters for its own nation and the populace of our own nation. And this is how we do that. Other than that, our honorable prime minister saw a dream that was Viksit Bharat in 2047. This is not just a dream. Steps like these show us that we are taking positive strides towards that particular direction. But to see this and to sit in a perspective where we notice these things happening is not going to be enough. We have to move forward. We have to be alert, and we have to know that we also need to take steps. As I said, that we are not just supposed to be the managers who can cater to the global need. We have to be someone who really cares about our own nation as well. We need to foster our own population. And through this, we can do that. As I mentioned, global position is important. Domestic growth is important. But exploring the unexplored is something that has not happened. Through this, we are doing that. And as managers, isn't that what we are taught? To expand our horizons, to not limit ourselves to what is just being taught in the classrooms or mentioned in the textbook, but really to understand the application of knowledge. And this is what we are trying to do here. Thank you for your patience listening. From behalf of my team, thank you so much.
And respected dignitaries, I am Jayant, and my colleague Swastik will discuss about the semiconductor industry. We'll try to cover some advanced topics such as a semiconductor ecosystem, Moore's law, global market outlook, Indian semiconductor market, and India's competitive advantage. India, rise of a semiconductor giant. So semiconductor refers to the material like silicon that can conduct electricity better than the insulator. But today, when everyone is talking about semiconductor, we are talking about semiconductor chips. Semiconductor chips are typically made from thin slice of silicon with a complex component laid out on them in a specific pattern. These patterns control the flow of current using the electric switches, which is called transistor. So basically, this is the same techniques when we switch on and off lights in our hostel rooms. Talking about the industries which use the semiconductor materials are in artificial intelligence, clean energy, communication, computing, energy, healthcare, Internet of Things, military. Then talking about the products which are usually made from semiconductor materials such as bipolar transistors, diodes, field transistors, then LEDs, MOSFETs, and silicon controlled rectifiers. So this is the ecosystem, which is the important one, the semiconductor ecosystem. As India is on the fabless chip companies right now. So if we start with the first cheap intellectual property, IP core. So basically, these are the companies who design chip, and also they kind of have a license on them. So they build software building blocks and called IP cores. Okay. After that, they send it to EDA, electronic design automation tools, basically where they try to convert it into software format. Once they complete that, most of the companies, they have the wafer fab equipment, that is WFE. These machines are those who physically manufacture chips. These are some of the machines whose are most complicated as well as expensive on the earth. After that, fabless chip companies, where the India is right now, the system companies such as NVIDIA, Apple, IBM designs their own chip and send it to foundries. So foundries basically we're gonna talk about that. Then the fifth component is IDM, integrated device manufacturers. So IDM basically design, manufacture, and sell their own chips to different companies according to their needs. So they do all the process which we have mentioned earlier. After that, chief foundries make the chip for businesses. They buy and integrate equipments from variety of manufacturers. We can see the TSMC, that is a Taiwan Semiconductor Manufacturing Company, has a market share of 53.1%, and followed by the Samsung, 17.1%. But the semiconductor industry is currently facing an issue of a limitation of Moore's law. So basically, talking about the Moore's law refers to the prediction which is made by the Gordon Moore, who was the co-founder of Intel Corporation. According to him, it states that the number of transistors that can be packed into computer processor of a given size should be expected to double in every 2 years or with a half of the cost, like in 24 months. But today the doubling rate is transistors capacity around 18 months. We can see the graph here. So basically, we can see the exponential growth in the number of transistors per microprocessors to 10 billion in 2021 to 2022. But right now, the Jason Hong, who was the CEO of NVIDIA, recently mentioned that the industry is near the limit. The transistors are going to find a limit, and we are at the atomic scale, which is beyond material, which shows that there will be a major change in the semiconductor industries very soon. Talking about the global market, industry is growing by 6.3% CAGR from 2024 to 2027, and memory chip market is expected to recover in 2024 after a dip of 2023. A rise in artificial intelligence and its application in various sectors, continued demand for smartphones, wearables, growth in automotive industry. These are the some demand drivers will be for the industries for next coming years. Geopolitical concerns such as US-China trade war and Ukraine war. The importance of geographical diversification of a chief industry is necessary, which come into picture. And the industry is currently facing the problem of talent shortage. So how India can how India can capture this gap? So as we mentioned about the geopolitical diversification, who is better than India? India can offer itself as alternative manufacturing hub. India can focus on building expertise and production capabilities for specialty chips market, which is one of the growing market around the world. After that, shortage in skilled professionals. We already know India has a large pool of engineers. If we train them, we can fill the gap accordingly. India can leverage its leverage. India can leverage its IT talent pool and existing development in the ecosystem and cheap design and manufacture. India can leverage its cost advantage in manufacturing, design, catering to emerging markets. I request Swastik. Okay, due to time constraints, we'll move to another.
I'll be talking about Indian semiconductor market. The need. What is the need of Indian semiconductor market? Currently, India imports 95% of the semiconductors in use of India. To boost domestic electronics manufacturing, having a functioning semiconductor market will boost the manufacturing of India, national security. Semiconductor are crucial components in various defense technologies. Domestic industry would reduce reliance on foreign suppliers, potentially enhancing national security. The technological advancement it will come with semiconductor industry are an active semiconductor industry fosters innovation and research and development. This can lead to development of indigenous chip technologies propelling India to an forefront of technological environment. Apart from that, there are skilled workforce development and geographical importance. As the Indian semiconductor market is stiff in kind of geographical segmentation. In India, as a rising semiconductor giant, will loosen up the geopolitical importance. Now the market rise, the urgency, the nation hooked up on chips, Indian electronic consumption is skyrocketing, driven by smartphones, wearables, and automotive advancements. The wake up call, the pandemic affected the semiconductor market in a negative way as there was a shortage of supply and the prices were very high during the shortage. The game changer, government intervention. The government is recognizing very strategic importance. The Indian government launched multi-pronged attacks such as PLI schemes and other government initiatives. Early signs of progress, the PLI scheme has received a positive response. As of October 2023, 45 applications have been received from the players like Samsung and Micron. The semiconductor market current situation, it is rising and it is expected to grow to 80.3 billion in 2028. Recognized by need of self-reliance, and the government launched the production linked incentive scheme in 2021. The PLI scheme has received a very positive response from 45 companies, and building a robust industry requires a significant investment in infrastructure, research, and talent development. The future outlook of the industry, it looks very positive, and the potential growth is higher than expected. Now it's time to wrap up. कहाँ से? बंद कर? जाओ, हो गया, खत्म। भारत में 3 सेमीकंडक्टर फैसिलिटीज का शिलान्यास किया जाएगा। इस शुभ अवसर पर हमारे साथ जुड़े आप सभी मान्यवरों का, सभी छात्रों का, सभी हितधारकों का एक बार पुनः सहृदय स्वागत है। We extend a heartiest welcome to all of you. आपके बस कुछ ही देर में हमारे भारत के माननीय प्रधानमंत्री महोदय आदरणीय श्री नरेंद्र मोदी जी हमारे साथ वर्चुअली जुड़ेंगे और उनके जुड़ते ही हमारा कार्यक्रम विधिवत आरंभ किया जाएगा। एक बार पुनः आप सभी का हार्दिक अभिनंदन, बहुत बहुत स्वागत। असम से आप सभी लोग जो हमारे साथ जुड़े हैं, सभी छात्र, सभी हितधारक, एक बार पुनः हम आप सभी का तहे दिल से स्वागत करते हैं। हार्दिक अभिनंदन है। आपसे बस कुछ ही देर में भारत के माननीय प्रधानमंत्री महोदय आदरणीय श्री नरेंद्र मोदी जी हमारे साथ वर्चुअली जुड़ेंगे और उसके साथ ही कार्यक्रम विधिवत आरंभ किया जाएगा।
इसमें की ये पत्रिका सूचक है कि अक्टूबर किसी भी क्षण हमारे देश के माननीय प्रधानमंत्री महोदय आदरणीय श्री नरेंद्र मोदी जी हमारे साथ वर्चुअल रूप में जुड़ेंगे और इस कार्यक्रम को विधिवत आरंभ किया जाएगा। अब से बस कुछ ही क्षण में हमारे बीच होंगे भारत के माननीय प्रधानमंत्री महोदय वर्चुअल मोड से श्री नरेंद्र मोदी जी। सहर्ष आप सभी को सूचित करना चाहेंगे भारत के माननीय प्रधानमंत्री महोदय श्री नरेंद्र मोदी जी हमारे साथ जुड़ चुके हैं। हार्दिक अभिनंदन महोदय। जैसा कि विदित है आज का ये दिन भारत के विकास के प्रति एक अटूट दृढ़ संकल्प का प्रतीक है और भारत के लिए एक उज्जवल समृद्ध भविष्य की यात्रा की ओर आरंभ प्रतीक है। इस समृद्ध यात्रा में हमारे पथ प्रदर्शक भारत के माननीय प्रधानमंत्री महोदय आदरणीय श्री नरेंद्र मोदी जी पूरे देश को स्वावलंबन एवं आत्मनिर्भरता से विभूषित कर रहे हैं। आज का ये कार्यक्रम इसी का प्रतिबिंब है। कार्यक्रम के आरंभ बिंदु को स्पर्श करते हुए मैं अनुरोध करूंगी माननीय रेल संचार और इलेक्ट्रॉनिकी एवं सूचना प्रौद्योगिकी मंत्री श्री अश्विनी वैष्णव जी से कि आप कृपा करके स्वागत संबोधन प्रस्तुत करें। श्री अश्विनी वैष्णव जी।
प्रधानमंत्री नरेंद्र मोदी जी, गुजरात एवं आसाम के माननीय मुख्यमंत्री महोदय, केंद्र एवं राज्य सरकारों में माननीय मंत्री महोदय एवं सीजी पावर के अधिकारी, दोनों राज्यों के साथी और 30 लाख से अधिक भाई एक साथ 3 सेमीकंडक्टर यूनिट के भूमि पूजन के ऐतिहासिक समारोह सभी का हार्दिक स्वागत है। साथियों, किसी भी राष्ट्र के एक ऐसा पीरियड आता है जब उसके भविष्य की नींव रखी जाती है, जब उसके सपने पूरे होते हैं, जब उसे विश्व में नई पहचान मिलती है और संभव होता है जब राष्ट्र का नेतृत्व विजनरी हो, डिस्कल्सिव हो, फॉरवर्ड लुकिंग हो। विजनरी, फॉरवर्ड लुकिंग, कठिन से कठिन फैसले करने ये राष्ट्र को समर्पित करने 1962 से सेमीकंडक्टर इंडस्ट्री को भारत में स्थापित करने का प्रयास चल रहा है। सक्सेस मिली है और ये केवल और केवल प्रधानमंत्री श्री नरेंद्र मोदी के क्लियर विजन और सेल्फ लीडरशिप के निर्भर होगा। निर्माण में के दिन को याद करें, एक साथ तीन सेमीकंडक्टर इन तीनों प्रोजेक्ट और इन 4 को मिलकर 4 बड़े सेमीकंडक्टर प्लांट तैयार होंगे और इंडस्ट्री स्थापित होगी। सेमीकंडक्टर इंडस्ट्री फाउंडेशनल इंडस्ट्री है। इसको ऑन में ऑफ किया जाता है, उसमें सेमीकंडक्टर लगता है। टीवी हो, स्कूटी हो, बाइक हो, कार हो, ट्रेन हो, एरोप्लेन हो, फैक्ट्री में लगने वाली मशीनें हो, कंप्यूटर हो, मोबाइल फोन हो, हर चीज में सेमीकंडक्टर लगता है। इसलिए प्रधानमंत्री जी के सेमीकंडक्टर की महत्वपूर्ण रोल और सबसे अधिक खुशी की बात है कि इन 4 सेमीकंडक्टर प्लांट में से एक प्लांट भारत के नॉर्थ ईस्ट। इतनी खुशी का वो दिन होगा जब अमेरिका में जापान में इंडिया सेमीकंडक्टर से बनने वाली लैपटॉप बनेंगे, कंप्यूटर बनेंगे, मोबाइल फोन चलेंगे, तीनों प्लांट और लैपटॉप के सेमीकंडक्टर सरकार में काम तेजी से होता है, ये चारों के चारों प्लांट के दौरान जून 2023 में अप्रूवल किया और इसके अंदर अंदर गुजरात सारी की सारी परमिशन थी और काम कर वैसे ही मोदी जी खुद तौर से 29 फरवरी 2024 में अप्रूव हुए प्रधानमंत्री जी इन तीनों प्लांट का भूमि पूजन करने के ये विश्व में रिकॉर्ड संभव होता है तभी जब प्रधानमंत्री जी नरेंद्र मोदी जी जैसा एक सबसे लीडर एक देश में आते हैं राज्य और केंद्र सरकार दोनों ने अपनी पूरी ताकत लगा दी यंग और एनर्जी के 30 लाख से ज्यादा जो साथी वस्तुएं जुड़े हैं मैं कहूँगा साथियों नौजवान साथियों भविष्य का निर्माण आपके फ्यूचर को सेव करने वाले और ये केवल और केवल है इसलिए जब आप याद रखना भविष्य केवल और केवल मोदी जी रख सकते हैं इस बात को आने वाले कुछ दिनों में आप अपना देश का फैसला जय हिंद माता की जय एवं प्रौद्योगिकी परिप्रेक्ष्य में क्रांतिकारी देश को अपने भविष्य का कमीशन में श्री दयानंद सुबैया के संबोधन का अनुरोध करती है श्री दयानंद सुबैया गुजरात and Assam foreign attachment index. Namaskar. 75 years ago, my grandfather and India. That is what the country needed. Science of scale. Semiconductors, the new market. These are the very spaces of the manufacturing economy. They are critical to India's national prosperity. Today is food plants and art plants. At the very time of India's emergence from the economy and an announcement of India's arrival in the global semiconductor space. Why do we have to wait until now for this moment? What Bharat is now witnessing is as revolution of independence itself. We are seeing in a way and a resources that India has never seen before. This government's ability to be a world leader is absolutely unprecedented. Government and industry are collaborating effectively, leveraging each other. मैंने सोचा अगर तो सीधी है brain drain. When I graduated, 140 students out of 290 left for the US. This is really from now on, we will design for Bharat. We will make for Bharat. We will build Bharat. strategic partner. We asked themselves who will be leading this on their side. And they said, very expected, who is there with us. Right. This is the nature of the world today. Country or country. Indian government. We are excited about this initiative. We come from Tamil Nadu. Gujarat has 50,000. It means that those Tamils are part of those countries. Not basically because there's something. To me as well, Yoga and meditation is important. In India, we understand that empathy, our energy, our focus. So together, in the presence of we will create an ecosystem that is built on the concept. I've written a few lines in letter. One is semiconductor paves Rasta Shri Sehar. Sehar to India. Jai Hind. Pranam. Thank you for gracing us with your presence on this historic occasion. This event is possible because of your enduring wish to bring the semiconductor industry to the shores of our. Thank you, sir. God bless. Honorable Minister Shri Ashwini, Honorable Chief Minister Shri Himanta Biswa Sharma, and Honorable Minister Shri Rajiv Chandrasekhar ji to this event. Dignitaries from Government of India, Ministry of Electronics and Information Technology, India Semiconductor Mission, governments of both Gujarat and Assam, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, and members of the media. I am thankful to all of you for your presence here in Gujarat and Jagi Road, Assam, for the foundation ceremony of India's first semiconductor plant and the first indigenous semiconductor assembly and test facility. Today is indeed a very, very special day for India and for the Tata Group. With the foundation stone being laid simultaneously for our projects in Gujarat and Jagi Road, one in the east and another in the west, 2,500 kilometers apart. These semiconductor manufacturing hubs will have a very lasting impact on the entire nation. The ecosystem from across the globe will mobilize to have India as the preferred semiconductor destination. For our part, we are very excited to partner with Taiwan's Corporate Semiconductor Manufacturing Corporation. The executives of TSMC are planning this meeting today in India. They have given us access to a very, very good portfolio of technology. Our partner is a leading foundry company with very extensive manufacturing experience in running for ceilings, for physical infrastructure. Semiconductor is the foundation in the industry for everything digital. We look forward to closely partnering with industry, academic institutions, and every ecosystem player to build semiconductor talent and infrastructure of tomorrow right here in India. We will be creating more than 50,000 jobs in this journey, and this is just the beginning. Today, every major economy is looking for self-sufficiency in semiconductor supply chain. There are three fundamental reasons for this. First, the chip shortages during the pandemic made us all realize the importance of electronics and our dependency on the global supply chain. Second, with the cyber warfare becoming a commonplace, self-sufficiency in semiconductors is a must and a matter of national security. And finally, domestic semiconductor manufacturing ecosystem is a must-have to galvanize the indigenous product ecosystem of tomorrow. In the spirit of the Tata Group and its core value of pioneering, we will deploy our deep customer insights and develop innovative solutions with agility, boldness, and courage. From the very beginning, we have been fortunate to pioneer several businesses, and today our semiconductor chips has begun. Semiconductor chips are a defining role to play in every industry. Like Minister Vaishnav said, automotive, communication, advanced computing, AI, green tech, industrial, medical devices, defense, consumer electronics, in fact, every industry, semiconductor chips are very foundational in nature. For the first time, India will have capabilities to solve semiconductor demand of both domestic and global customers with the chips built in our factories in India. I would like to thank you for your trust in the Tata Group as we embark upon this historic journey of India's decade. Chips for Viksit Bharat. Finally, in the work of our friend, the community is at the heart of everything that we do. We will build world-class social infrastructure and thriving communities, both in Gujarat and in Jammu, in partnership with the government of Gujarat and government of Assam. Thank you again for this opportunity, and thank you, Prime Minister, for your leadership and vision and laying the foundation for a developed India. Thank you very much. गुजरात के सम्मानीय टाटा सन्स के चेयरमैन श्री एन चंद्रशेखरन जी, सीजी पावर के चेयरमैन श्री सुबाया जी, आज हमारे सामने हुए सारे अतिथिगण, मैं असम वासियों का और आप सबको स्वागत करता हूँ। जो हम असम में जीएसटी का रिजोल्यूशन देश का सबसे पहले पारित से लेके नॉर्थ ईस्ट से लेके साउथ ईस्ट का एक बहुत टेक्निकल एरिया था। ये जब कोई भी इंडस्ट्रियल रिवोल्यूशन होते थे देश में, ये कभी उसका कुछ कॉन्फिडेंस कि नॉर्थ ईस्ट में भी कुछ करना संभव है, लेकिन प्रधानमंत्री जी आपका भ्रमण, आपका आसाम वासियों के लिए आपका सेमीकंडक्टर रिवोल्यूशन का पहला दिन ही असम को सौभाग्य मिला। असम वासी और एक देश को एक मध्यस्थ रीजन को पहला चरण में लेके ये हमारे ये पूरे प्रधानमंत्री को बहुत अपना ही देश असम में ही जन्म लिया हूँ, कभी मैं सोचा भी नहीं कि असम का बंगाल इन सभी कंडक्टर ये काम मैं संभव हूँ। असम वासी आपको कभी नहीं असम का और असम का हमेशा आपको याद करेगा, आपका प्रेम का और हमें देता है कि असम जो आपने किया है, कॉन्फिडेंस किया है, उसका माइंड, उसका जो टेस्ट है, वो टेस्ट में हम खड़े पूरा कोशिश करें। मैं अश्विनी वैष्णव जी को बहुत अश्विनी वैष्णव जी ने हमें कैसे शुरू करना है, हमें पूरा उन्होंने मार्गदर्शन किया। मैं अश्विनी जी को बहुत देता हूँ। पापा संत ये आपको ये बहुत दिन संभव है। और पापा ने किया जियोग्राफिकल एरिया में चंद्रशेखरन की और ये आप एकदम बहुत बढ़िया सिस्टम मिलेगा और आपको कभी काम किया इसका कारण कभी यही करेगा, आपको खुशी होगा, अच्छा लगेगा कि you chosen a correct destination and choosing that you have contributed immensely for the development and great nation. प्रधानमंत्री जी हमारा सामने लाखों लोग मौजूद है, तो आपको दोबारा अभिवादन करते हैं और हमेशा एक दुख पुरस्कार आपको हमेशा मेरा कोई मैं कल आपको धन्यवाद देता हूँ दिल से आसान भगवान आपको लंबे आयु भारत के आपने ही हमें यही उत्तर पूर्व को आशीर्वाद देते रहे, आसाम को आशीर्वाद देते रहे। जय हिंद। जिला के उत्तर की तरफ एक चतुर जा सकती है और पूरे देश को इस गौरव की स्मृति दे रही है। जब मैं प्रयाण करना देश के बारे में गुजरात की अभिनव बेड़ा में गुजरात की झालरा में 50,000 बड़ी और क्लियर कैपेसिटी एवं खुशी देने मानने को तो गुजरात की ये धरती एक ये है
कि नरेंद्र मोदी जी के कस्तूरी करोड़ तीनों पेश शिलान्यास मैं अनुरोध करती हूँ कि कृपा करके रिमोट के बदल से तीनों शिलान्यास कर
शुरुआत इनोवेशन को नेशनल रिसर्च फाउंडेशन स्थापित किए इंडिया एआई मिशन का भी तेजी से सिर्फ टेक्नोलॉजी साथियों सेमीकंडक्टर इंडस्ट्री का सबसे ज्यादा अगर किसी को मिलने वाला तो वो हमारे भारत के युवा है सेमीकंडक्टर इंडस्ट्री कम्युनिकेशन से कई सेक्टर जुड़े होते हैं इस इंडस्ट्री से कई बिलियन डॉलर का और एम्प्लॉयमेंट जनरेशन यानी चीप मैन्युफैक्चरिंग से एक इंडस्ट्री मात्र नहीं ये विकास का वो पांच होती है जो असीम इस सेक्टर से न सिर्फ बल्कि टेक्नोलॉजिकल एडवांसमेंट के क्षेत्र में भी बड़ी तरक्की कर रहा है ऊर्जावी प्राचीन संताची कमी इस वजह से भारत का सेमीकंडक्टर उन दशकों में जो लोग वो भी सोचते थे और जल्दी क्या है समय आएगा सरकारों को ये तो बड़ी सी जरूरत इसका बनाना अभी तो वो लोग देश की प्रायोरिटी को भी बैलेंस नहीं करते देखिए उन लोगों को लगे कि भारत तो बड़ी एक एक चीज को कैसे नहीं वो लोग भारत की बड़ी बिहार में पुलिस बलों के इन्वेस्टमेंट को तो हजारों करोड़ के रुपए लेकिन सेमीकंडक्टर मैन्युफैक्चरिंग हजारों करोड़ के ऐसी सोच के साथ किसी देश का विकास नहीं हो इसलिए हमारे पास फॉरवर्ड लुकिंग सोच और सेमीकंडक्टर मैन्युफैक्चरिंग फुल एम्बिशन जो विकसित देशों में है संतुष्ट का हमारे देश 35 साल का भी दुकानदार एक तरफ हम गरीबों के खाते तो दूसरी तरफ लाखों करोड़ रुपए एक साथ हम पीछे सेलिब्रेशन मूवमेंट और दूसरी ओर आगे बढ़ रहा हमें एक तरफ तेजी से बड़ी और दूसरी तरफ आपने पुलिस एक तो हाथ में फिर 20 अक्सर योजनाओं का लोकार्पण में 21वीं सदी के भारत में आत्मनिर्भर दो दिन पहले
Now, we would like to invite Dr. Paveen Bangotra to virtually address the gathering. Dr. Paveen Bangotra is an electronic and communication engineer from NIT, Kurukshetra. Passing out in year 1983, he worked with Electronic Systems Punjab Limited and later joined Semiconductor Complex Limited, India's first semiconductor facility in year 1986. He has more than 35 years of experience in semiconductor chip design training, semiconductor business development, capacity building for space programs, cybersecurity, indigenous software development for VLSI fab, and class, that is computer literacy and studies in school, project of Government of India. Alongside his job, Dr. Bangotra completed his MBA from Punjab University, Chandigarh, and later PhD in area of knowledge management. He has published and presented more than 24 papers in area of science and technology and knowledge management. He has been awarded with Chairman's Award for Best Employee, Chairman's Letter of Appreciation, Scientific Secretary, ISRO Letter of Appreciation for Cyber Security and National Literacy Mission Award for his writing. Retired as Scientist SG Divisional Head from Semiconductor Laboratory, Dr. Bangotra is presently working as consultant. The floor is all yours, sir.
Thank you so much. I hope I'm audible to the audience.
Yes, sir, you are audible.
Thank you so much. Thank you very much. It's congratulations to all of you being part of this very important day where our Prime Minister has launched 3 semiconductor plants, dire need over a long period of time. And I am grateful to IIM Jammu for giving me this opportunity to talk to you. I have a very old association with Jammu, though I left that city in the year 1978. It's a player getting connected back to the people out there. And without losing much time, I'll begin with this. I understand that it's not a technology talk, it's a story of semiconductors. So I will begin with try to be as simple as possible regarding the semiconductors. To begin with, I am talking to you sitting in Chandigarh. You have listened to the Prime Minister from Gujarat. Is all because of semiconductors. You have your mobile phone in your pocket with which you do your banking, you do your ticketing, you make your telephonic orders, you call your Zomato, you call your Make My Trip, you do your airline bookings. everything that you're doing on your mobile, the base layer, the very basic layer of there resides the semiconductors. What for semiconductors? Just imagine if there were no semiconductors, the mobile, the internet, these video calls was not possible, and we would have all been kind of a living in what primitive age. Now, what are these semiconductors? Have you ever seen them? Seen a semiconductor? Perhaps if I am, I could be showing you the semiconductor also. Well, to begin with, what are the semiconductors? At one end, you have conductors, and at the other end, you have non-conductors. Conductors, where if you heat one part of iron rod, the heat would reach the other part because they conduct. Semiconductors, you heat one part of wood, the other part of the wood does not because it does not conduct. In electronics, semiconductors are when current can pass from one end to the other. They are called conductors, and then there are non-conductors where you cannot pass electricity from one part to the other part. Now, in this conductors and non-conductors, there is a stage which is called semiconductors. Semiconductors means that they conduct under certain conditions. Normally, they won't conduct, but if you create those conductions, the electricity would pass from one end to the other end. It's the terminology used in semiconductors is a gate. Gate is like the gates we know of. If the gate is closed, you cannot come in. If you open the gate, you can come in. So the semiconductors are essentially conduct under certain conditions. Now, just like brick is the building block of any building. If you open up a building, there are bricks of which the building is made. Similarly, a semiconductor is made of at the base layer are what? There are transistors. Transistors are the basic unit of which a semiconductor is made of. Transistor does what? Transistor, you could imagine transistor is something like if you apply a voltage, the transistor would conduct the electricity. If you do not apply that voltage, the transistor will not conduct. Now, this conduction and non-conduction of by applying a voltage, the electricity passes. By not applying, the electricity does not pass. This mathematically amounts to 1 and 0. 1, the electricity passes, this is 1. And if the electricity doesn't pass, this is 0. This is binary mathematics. We all are used so much to our decimal mathematics from 0 to 9. What in electronics, there are only 2 stages. You do almost everything by using 0 and 1. Suppose my code is 0101. This means A. I'm just supposing for the purpose of simplicity. 0101 amounts to A. Now, there are 2 people who know that 0101 means A, and through my electronics, I will not pass electricity, then press voltage, the electricity passes. Do not press, 0, again press, means 1. So that means by applying the voltage, by not applying the voltage, then applying the voltage, then not applying the voltage, and once again applying the voltage, I have said A, basically. So these are generally in our terminology what we call bits and bytes. Bits and bytes are these. 0 is a bit, 1 is a bit. If you put 8 bits together, then what you get is a 1 byte. 1 byte, 8 zeros and ones are required to say any one of those characters from A to Z and comma and full stop. Now, the whole electronics, the whole semiconductor is based on this zeros and ones. So where is the beauty and need of this? The beauty and need of this is that you all carrying mobile phones in your hands, laptops, pads, electronic watches. They are all carrying semiconductor, and the semiconductor amongst them is carrying those small transistors, which are called the basic building block. By an estimate of Semiconductor Industry Association, that's an association which works globally. Just 1 second, I got a call from. We have these mobile phones and this thing, which is basically consisting millions and millions of those transistors. These transistors, by that definition of SIA, Semiconductor Industry Association, which works over, in the year 2018, more number of transistors were produced in the globe compared to the number of rice and wheat put together, and a cost lesser than that. Since the time is limited, I will not get into those nitty-gritties and start. Semiconductors are essentially what? Semiconductor is basically silicon. And what is the silicon? Silicon is essentially the sand. If we ever see sand somewhere, let's say see sand in a beach or somewhere, you will see in the sunlight, there's a part of the sand which shines, which is silica. Silica is basically the raw material available in abundance all over the world. So raw material is not the issue. It is the processing of that raw material into a stage where the purification takes place. And then from that purification, what we get is a huge ignorance. Just one second. Sir. Right. I will try to get into the simplification part of this. Yeah. So what do we from the sand, that shining part of the sand is called silica, and from silica the semiconductors are made. There are organizations which collect that silica, process it into what is called a silicon wafer. Silicon wafer is, perhaps if you could see something in my hand. This is a silicon wafer. On this silicon wafer, this is made out of silica, the sand. On this silicon wafer, there are very, if you see a pattern of small, so each silicon wafer contains a huge number of devices marked parallel. So one silicon wafer might contain anything between 10,000 to 20,000 devices. And once you process these, what you get is a semiconductor device or a silicon chip, which sits on this kind of a strip. On the strip, there is one silicon chip that's there. Now, once the silicon chip is put on this, it is encapsulated, and this is perhaps something that most of you would have seen in an electronics shop or somewhere. This is called IC, the integrated circuit. Yeah? The the world over is supposed to be driving the economies of the whole world, and the problem, the challenges of manufacturing silicon are because precisely the miniaturization. On this device or your mobile phone, if it is not to be manufactured by semiconductor, then a mobile phone might fit into a room, actually the size of a room, or maybe even bigger than that. So miniaturization is the key. Miniaturization to the extent that nowadays the devices which are manufactured are of the size of the transistor inside the device, which I was earlier talking about, as good as a brick within a building, is of the size of 20 nanometer. 20 nanometer, if you understand, is our human hair is about 70,000 nanometers, and we are talking of 20 nanometers. With those small geometries, which are mechanically not possible, these devices are manufactured using certain chemicals. And those chemicals are so pure, the purity of the chemicals has to be so high that generally very few countries are manufacturing those. And in India, procurement of those chemicals has been a challenge as far as manufacturing of these semiconductors. We hope and pray that with this new fabs being set up, an ecosystem comes up, which has all those raw material and chemicals available, and these challenges because of which we have not been able to put up semiconductor plants gets over. I understand I had a limited time with you, and it would have been pleasure talking one-to-one, because there's few things in semiconductor which I would have loved to show, which is not coming through this video conference. The devices, the packaging part, and this thing. Maybe some other opportunity, some other time. Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Now, we would like to invite Director Sir, Professor B.S. Sahai, to address the event with his kind words.
Good morning. Today is a great day for all of us. Okay, no problem. I can take out my coat. I don't think that this is a permanent system for this podium. Okay, good morning to all of you. Today is a great day for all of us. You know, like this, what is happening today in the country, particularly for last 10 years, that we have stopped thinking small things. छोटी छोटी सोच को हमने छोड़ दिया, पीछे छोड़ दिया है, और हम जब भी किसी चीज की बात करते हैं तो बड़े मेगा स्केल पे बात करते हैं. अनबिलीवेबल. सड़क पे जाओ तो रोड छोटी वाली जो थी 2 लेन्स 4 लेन्स, वो अचानक से 14 लेन्स, 16 लेन्स, 20 लेन्स, और 20 लेन्स बनने के बाद भी लगता है कि भाई ये और भी चौड़ा हो जाना चाहिए. That precisely means day by day our expectation is increasing, and that is probably forcing us to think bigger, do bigger. And here is our Honorable Prime Minister, who never believes in small things. सेमीकंडक्टर प्लांट को हिंदुस्तान में लाना है. 1962 से ये बात चल रही थी. हमारी सुबह सेमीकंडक्टर से होती है और शाम सेमीकंडक्टर से होती है. अभी हम लोग बैठे हुए सबके मोबाइल, सीईओ साहब जरा इधर ध्यान ले लो, मोबाइल में सेमीकंडक्टर है। तो हर लोग जो है सेमीकंडक्टर से जुड़ा हुआ है। लाइब्रेरी में इंटर करो तो आरएफआईडी टैग, वो भी सेमीकंडक्टर है। ट्रेन में बैठो सेमीकंडक्टर है, बस में बैठो सेमीकंडक्टर है, जहां भी बैठो सेमीकंडक्टर है। लेकिन इतने सालों में हम लोग प्रोबेबली ये एहसास नहीं कर पाए कि कितना हमारा पैसा आउटफ्लो हो रहा था। जब से ये सोच आई है, मेक इन इंडिया एंड मेक फॉर द वर्ल्ड, दिस थिंकिंग इटसेल्फ इज सो बिग। जस्ट इमेजिन कि पहले हम लोग कहते थे कि बाहर का सामान अच्छा होता है, अब पीपल आर स्टार्टेड टेलिंग दैट इंडियन प्रोडक्ट इज मोर रिलायबल। और आज 1.26 लाख करोड़, छोटे मोटे प्रोजेक्ट्स नहीं, सीधा लाख में ही डालो, 1.25 लाख करोड़ प्रोजेक्ट्स, और एक बिल्कुल वेस्टर्न पार्ट में और दूसरा बिल्कुल एक्सट्रीम नॉर्थ ईस्ट में। सो इट्स रियली अ ग्रेट डे। और इससे आप ये सोचिए कि इंडस्ट्री को कितना बेनिफिट होगा, कॉमन आदमी को कितना बेनिफिट होगा। जितने प्रोडक्ट्स हम यूज करते हैं उसकी कॉस्ट जो है कितनी डाउन हो जाएगी। इतना ही नहीं, वी विल बी एबल टू सप्लाई ऑल ओवर द वर्ल्ड। सो वर्ल्ड इज अवर मार्केट, वर्ल्ड इज अवर मार्केट, and we are diversifying in almost all field. किसी ने कोई सोचा था कि भाई इतने सारे आईएम्स हो जाएंगे, इतने सारे आईटीज हो जाएंगे, इतने सारे आईशर हो जाएंगे, एम्स हो जाएंगे, सब हो जाएंगे। और इतना होने के बाद भी लगता है कि और होना चाहिए। 1.4 बिलियन पॉपुलेशन में लगता है कि ये तो बहुत कम है, होना चाहिए। क्योंकि हमारे यहाँ इतनी कैपेबिलिटी है, हर बच्चा इतना सुपर इंटेलिजेंट है। आप किसी भी लैब की बात कर लीजिए, वर्ल्ड वाइड लैब की बात कर लीजिए। और यही बात प्रधानमंत्री जी भी कह रहे थे कि सेमीकंडक्टर के ग्रोथ में, डेवलपमेंट में, डिजाइन में ज्यादातर इंडियन माइंड्स जुड़ी हुई हैं। इट्स अ ग्रेट अपॉर्चुनिटी फॉर ऑल ऑफ अस एंड ऑल ऑफ यू। और जो प्रधानमंत्री जी ने कहा है कि by 2047 we are going to be a developed nation, it is not merely a statement. Mind it, it is not merely a statement, it is going to happen. For last 2 days, continuously, I was sitting in a conference where Chief Secretary was chairing, Chief Secretary of Jammu and Kashmir. He was also sitting continuously. What was the topic? Accelerating employment through entrepreneurship. और उसमें IIM जम्मू बहुत बड़ा रोल प्ले करने वाला है. And that's why we sat together, and it was a big conference. Big, all people were there. We are setting up, this is going to be a nodal center for e-governance. We are going to sign MOU with the government of J&K. So all these things are happening. Like, it's not that, okay, we are just new institute, so just we have to award degree and diplomas. No, that is not, that is the core business. For that, IIM has been started. But I think is that today, when we talk of make in India, make for the world, and this here is the opportunity. I would like this thing that all of you and many of you well can think of setting up your own venture. Don't wait for opportunity. Opportunity is here. Opportunity is here. I would suggest you that on semiconductor, Honorable Minister Aswini Vaishnav, you go to YouTube and just listen to him in a very simplest possible language or words. He has explained what is semiconductor. He is dealing with two most important ministry. Railway, all of us are seeing how this whole development is taking place. And so is in the case of electronics and information technology. So my dear friends, I would like to urge all of you to think of job creator and not job seeker. I know that all of you are booming with your offers. That's very good. Okay, and those who are yet to be placed are going to be placed very soon. But what is important is that be the job creators. That is more important. You have the opportunity, and there is no dearth of money. There is no dearth of money. Money is virtually floating. Come with the idea, and you will find there are many investors available. There is huge support from the government, huge support, and particularly for all women, girls. You can compete with anybody. You are second to none, mind it. Start thinking of setting up your own venture. And I'm sure that in years to come, in months to come, many of you will be thinking in those lines and adding job opportunity to many more. You are not going to work for anybody. People are going to work for you. Create that mindset. So today is a great day. I would not like to take much time. Your classes are going to restart again. It was a great day. That's why Honorable Prime Minister also said that he wanted that all youth should be connected with today's inauguration, because it's a very big message. And more than 60,000 institutions and universities today heard his message to the nation. So it's a great day. Let's celebrate. Thank you very much and enjoy the day. Thank you. Thank you.
So, your insightful address has truly enriched the event and provided invaluable perspective on the future of semiconductor industry in India. On behalf of IIM Jammu fraternity, we thank you. Now, I would like to request. Sure, sir.
I feel very happy to see all of you here, but I would like to say one thing, that all activities should be organized by the students. You must take the lead, because many times I really feel worried about. Hello? Yes, somebody is telling something. You speak loudly. नो परमिशन किस चीज का चाहिए? नहीं, गलत चीज का परमिशन नहीं मिलेगा, बैठ जाओ. गलत चीज का ना बैठ जाओ. कोई भी काम जो इंस्टीट्यूट के लिए अच्छा है, देश के लिए अच्छा है, तुम्हारे लिए अच्छा है, उस हर काम के लिए परमिशन है. ओके? हर वो काम के लिए परमिशन है. और जब तक आप सबों को जो है, यू हैव टू टेक द लीड. I would not like that administration should be coming into picture. I would not like this thing. Student affairs, chairperson, co-chairperson, they are just to support you. Mind it. But you have to take the lead. So make sure this thing, that any activity, come forward and say this thing, that yes, we want to make annual calendar for that. Make annual calendar. Okay, these are the things we would like to do. And take the lead. Administration is there to support you. Faculty is there to support you. But I would like this thing, that all of you should come forward and do whatever you want to do, which is in the interest of IIM Jammu. Always mind it. For all of us, IIM Jammu is the most important. Its positioning, its branding, everything is important. Everything must revolve around IIM Jammu and in the nation building. For that, whatever you want to do, please do it. All support from IIM Jammu, all support from my side. Okay? But just come. And once this digital screen is here, then probably we'll make a provision that maybe every fortnight we'll have a movie here. After taking permission, okay? No, after taking copyright issues are there, fine. So we must follow ethical practice, because the idea of making this auditorium is it should be used. And today is the third function where all of us have gathered. Third or fourth? Yeah, first one was inauguration. The second was NEP 2020 implementation program, then students program, then this program. So we would like to use this auditorium as much as possible. Okay, so all students I would like to urge, and you don't require any reminders. It's your program, it's your school. Always remember that. अभी मैं देख रहा था बाहर में बच्चे निकल करके बात करते रहते. Those are not good thing. सामने आओ यार, सब लोग आकर के बैठो, enjoy करो. I would like in months to come, students और faculty staff के साथ कुछ यहाँ पे social program करो. So I think that because all of us are going to stay here on campus, let's make this campus more vibrant, more enjoyable. Thank you.
Now, I would like to request Dr. Sudeep Das to give the vote of thanks.
Okay, as the Honorable Prime Minister mentioned, today is a historic day and the 21st century is going to be a technology-driven industry. So India is poised to become a leading semiconductor hub and a global semiconductor hub also. Today's event has been a great success and our nation is progressing on the path to achieve the Viksit Bharat by the year 2047. I wish to thank Director Sir, Dean Sir, Professors, staff, and all students who have gathered here for today's event. I now request everyone to stand for the national anthem. Thank you all. The program concludes.